Senate Parliamentarian Elizabeth MacDonough has rejected proposals for a pathway to citizenship twice now. But does that mean that she has also rejected the provisions to recapture 226,000 unused visas and provide country cap exemptions for family and employment-based visas? No, fortunately. As we discussed in my previous video, these provisions were in the bill that was passed by the House Judiciary Committee last month, but they have not yet been submitted to MacDonough for a decision in the Senate. Stay tuned because I have a major update on these provisions, including the likelihood of the Parliamentarian accepting them and when they might be expected to pass. I've seen a lot of comments from those of you about these, so be sure to like this video if you are waiting on a visa and are glad to hear this news. There has been quite a bit of confusion around these provisions because they were part of the same House bill that included a pathway to citizenship, and most news articles make it sound like they won't pass if the pathway to citizenship does not pass. But that is not the case. In fact, congressional aides are now on record saying that these provisions are more likely to survive the Parliamentarian. And a recent article in the Wall Street Journal confirmed that MacDonough sees visa recapture as distinguishable from a pathway to citizenship. That said, there are still challenges these provisions face, including a certain senator who might block and stand in the way. And it's not who you think. We will take a look at who this is in just a moment. I probably don't need to tell you that this once-in-a-generation immigration reform is urgently needed. There are approximately 5 million immigrants currently waiting in the visa backlog, and it is projected to continue growing each year if something isn't done. According to a State Department official, an estimated 80,000 unused employment-based green cards were lost when fiscal year 2021 ended last Thursday, and approximately 150,000 family-sponsored green cards went unused and were rolled over in the employment categories. The visa recapture program could reclaim these, but without an increase in budget and staff, USCIS would be unable to process them before they expired again. That is why the cap exemptions are so critical to resolving the visa backlog. As immigrants say, the super fee to skip the line, that money funds the staff needed to process the increase in visa applications. According to the legislation, the cap exemptions would expire in 2031, but that would be long enough to prove their value in time for renewal. And if you watch my previous video, then you know that issuing that many green cards would result in trillions of dollars being added to the GDP over the next decade. It could potentially pay for the entire reconciliation bill on its own. So, which senator might stand in the way of these two provisions passing? Surprisingly, it is Senator Bob Menendez. Last week, Senator Menendez indicated that he might not support the legal immigration reform if a pathway to citizenship is not included in the bill, saying, "I think that other immigration things, especially for businesses, that's not going to happen if we're not going to have any pathway to citizenship or some form of status adjustment for the undocumented. I won't support that." Senator Menendez has until the end of the month to be persuaded otherwise. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer says that he intends to pass the budget reconciliation bill by October 31st, along with the infrastructure bill that is currently being held up in the House. So what do you think? Will the visa recapture and cap exemption provisions make it through Congress? Leave a comment and let me know. And be sure to watch my previous video where I discuss the criteria these provisions need to meet in order to be included in budget reconciliation. I'll include that link here. I will also continue releasing videos as more immigration news becomes available. So if you haven't yet subscribed, make sure to do so now. Click here to watch this next video, and I'll see you there.